Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a wishlist video for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I haven't done a wishlist video since before World War II came out, so mid 2017 I haven't done one of these videos. But for me, I have such high expectations with this game because it's the first full development game that TREY has had since Black Ops 3, and it's also the longest development cycle in any Call of Duty game. So naturally, I have high expectations. I went into Cold War thinking that it was going to be a very good game because in my mind, I kept saying that diamonds are made under pressure, and Treyarch had about 6 to 8 months to make Cold War, and I think Cold War is still an amazing game. Like, the end product for the timeline and budget they had is really good. I know they can go so much further when you look at a game like Black Ops 3 and even Black Ops 4. While a lot of people may not enjoy it and it's not one of my favorite Black Ops games, they still had a cut budget mid development and they ended up producing a decent game for that time. And so now I know what we're going to get is not exactly what we want because it's still going to be integrated into the COD HQ launcher. It's still going to have all these Modern Warfare elements, which I'm not a fan of. But at this point, it's what Activision is running with, so it's what we have to deal with. So in the back of my mind, I'm just keeping it there that, you know, I can't have everything I want, but I know I can have a lot of what I want, and that's what I want to touch on today. So what I'm going to start off with is just like basic stuff before we get into 3 modes. It's just like super basic stuff that the game needs to have, and some of them have already been confirmed or leaked. Like today, for example, I'm recording this on Thursday before the reveal, so today's the 6th, and I want to get this video out before the reveal drops because we're probably going to get a lot of this stuff announced on Sunday, and making this video would be pointless because a lot of this stuff will already be known or be revealed that is happening or not. So my first thing that I really want is just a better UI, and I know they're working on this. In MW3 they just changed the social menu, so now you can have just the vertical list instead of all that horizontal stuff. And if you like the horizontal stuff, I personally didn't mind the horizontal friends list because it was a lot more detailed. You could see everyone, like you see all their customization stuff, which I enjoyed. If you have a lot of friends though, it was hard to find people. But me personally, I've been banned like 3 times on MW3 for unlocked tools, so I only have like the core 4 or 5 friends I play with, so it wasn't a big deal to me. But I understand if you have like 100 plus friends on your friends list where that's a bad thing. And now we have the new vertical friends list, which is nice, and they're taking steps in the right direction, but there's still more to be done because Modern Warfare 2 introduced this terrible horizontal user interface that was made by some Hulu dev guy. I don't know the whole story, but I know that's why it looks a lot like Hulu. And look, I'm not expecting the whole COD HQ to change with how it is now. I expect it to stay exactly the same, where you scroll through all those big ass tiles and you find whatever you want to play and you click on it. I'm not expecting that to change. I'm expecting the COD HQ to change. But the reason why a lot of people are thinking that Black Ops 6 is just going to be a copy and paste of Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 is because it's in the same game and it's listed as DLC, quote unquote, even though really it's still a full game that's completely different. Modern Warfare 3 is a different case. Modern Warfare 3 was literally just supposed to be a DLC for Modern Warfare 2, and Activision got greedy, which I'm okay with because that gave Treyarch another year to develop Black Ops 6. Like, MW3 isn't the best Call of Duty. I still think the last 3 Modern Warfare games are bottom tier Call of Duties. A lot of people like MW19, a lot of people like MW2, and a lot of people like MW3. I think MW3 is definitely better than Modern Warfare 2019 and MW2, but it's still lower tier. Like, the old maps just don't play well nowadays with the new movement and game modes that we have. It's just not fun to play. So it's for me, it's like, it's meh. I love the mechanics of Modern Warfare, like how it feels, how it looks, and I love that the gameplay designs that Sledgehammer makes. But at the end of the day, MW3 is literally just MW2. But that is not going to be the case for Black Ops 6. Completely different devs, not connected to MW at all. Besides, I mean, the stories are all intertwined now, but as a game, it's not connected at all. The mechanics are going to be different. Everything's going to be different. It's just going to launch from the same launcher just because they all run on the same engine now. And even though it runs on the same engine, doesn't mean it's going to look like Modern Warfare games. So that means that the UI can be completely different, and Treyarch has not messed with the UI. MW19 went to this whole like horizontal and vertical thing, and Treyarch brought it back with their UI for Cold War. It looked a lot more like OG COD while still implementing the horizontal stuff a little bit in the top. But other than that, it was fine. And then now we just have too much horizontal stuff, and I think Treyarch knows. And I'm hoping they do a whole revamp of the HQ this year, but I doubt they will. But I do expect that the UI in Black Ops 6 will be completely different and more akin to like Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3. Another thing which did just get leaked earlier today is the theater mode. I didn't really care about this. I'm not a huge theater mode guy, but a lot of my friends were really excited for it to come back. I know snipers are excited to come back, and like it does have its moments. Like if you don't have OBS open or your shadow play is not working or something like that, and you have this cool clip you want to go and get, you can go to theater mode and get it, and that's like really the only time I'd ever use it, except for like Black Ops 1. When I was younger, I would load up Black Ops 1 and I'd sit there and do like the infected like mod one where it gives you like mods and shit that you can go into pubs with, and that's the only time I would ever go into theater mode and like actually use it. And what they did with Black Ops 2 was cool because you had like the little COD like TV thing or whatever it was called. There was these funny clips or just good clips that people could upload and they get voted on, and they'd be put directly in the game for you to go and look at. And that was a cool feature. I doubt they're going to bring that back, but it's a possibility now that they've implemented theater mode back into the game. I don't think it's been in COD since Black Ops 4, I believe. So if that, I don't remember if it was in Black Ops 4, but I know they said with the new Modern Warfare engine, it was impossible to do. That's what Sledgehammer said, but Treyarch found a way to do it, and I appreciate that. Really, for the rest of the game, I don't think I have any like base game just like overall stuff I really care about. I just really hope that the Warzone stuff doesn't infect into the main game too much, because I love Call of Duty, but I am not a Warzone fan. I despise Warzone. I don't like battle royales at all, so that's probably the reason why. But I also I don't like the big open map. Like I could easily win, I think, if I put time into it, but I just don't care. I love the running gun. I love the fast-paced combat, and I don't like looting up just to get shot in my back from 200 meters away. I don't enjoy that at all. So I'm really hoping that they keep all of the Warzone elements out of Black Ops 6 and just put Black Ops 6 elements into Warzone. I hope that's what happens. I know Modern Warfare 2 was basically just a game built for Warzone, which pisses me off, because the last 2 games I've sat there and played hundreds and hundreds of hours. I probably have 1,500 hours total between MW2 and MW3, and I feel like I just wasted my life because I don't even enjoy playing them. I just play them because I love the feel of Call of Duty, and that's the only reason I'm playing them. But anyways, not to be on a tangent with all that, that's like my last like main game thing. So going into the campaign, I don't have a lot of like wishes for it necessarily. All I hope is that it's a solid story. Like I think Raven did a solid job with Black Ops Cold War. I thought the story was pretty good. And the one thing I have, like literally I have a whole bunch of notes written down in front of me, and the top of my notes says cutscenes for the love of God, because Cold War had cutscenes, and I can't knock it to Cold War because Cold War had such a short development cycle, so it's understandable. But the cutscenes were beautiful in that game, and literally all of the more recent Call of Duty games have beautiful cutscenes, but Cold War had like maybe 3 or 4 like actual like rendered cutscenes, and not just like rendered in-game cutscene, if you know what I mean. All like the cutscenes they had that were fully CGI rendered out that looked like movie quality, there was only a few of those, and I can, in my head, the only ones I can think about are the ones where like Woods and Hudson are fighting, and then the one at the beginning with Ronald Reagan. Those are the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head that actually were like that style. Everything else was either pre-rendered, or the cutscene in between missions was just you staring at a fan or something. That was also pre-rendered, but you're literally just looking at a fan while people talk. So it's like, what am I doing? Because I feel like for a story, you need to have cutscenes. It helps with the story, it helps develop characters, and it just improves the overall quality of the game. I want the story to be just like Black Ops 1 and 2. You know, those games were dark and twisted. Like Black Ops 1, you're like fighting out of a goddamn Russian prison. It's not a gulag. I don't know what it is, but it's a Russian prison. Is it a gulag? I don't think it is, because it doesn't look like a gulag. I don't know what they had back in the Soviet days for that stuff, like way back in the, I don't know when that mission takes place, but I don't think they had stuff like that. But anyways, like, you know what I'm talking about. That mission, I think, is the second mission in the game. Crazy. The fucking Victor Charlie mission where your helicopter gets shot down, you're in the water, and like the Vietnam soldiers are trying to like swim into the water and break open the helicopter and kill you, and you're taking like meat shields and stuff. I love that mission. The mission with like Woods and Bowman, where like they're doing the Russian roulette and stuff like that, like the dark and twisted story. And even Black Ops 2, you have missions where like Woods is blowing up Menendez's little sister with a goddamn grenade. You have Woods blowing Mason's head off with a Barrett 50 cal. Like, the dark and twisted moments is what I'm here for, and I love that style of storytelling. It's a lot more like movie-esque and not grounded in realism, which I do enjoy in some of the Modern Warfare games. Like the Modern Warfare 2 and 3 story I'm not a fan of, but the Modern Warfare 2019 story I do enjoy. But I also enjoy like a lot more like over the top campaigns like Infinite Warfare and Ghost and stuff like that. I enjoy those a lot more than the like real grounded campaigns. And Black Ops 3, like I don't want Black Ops 3 campaign. That's the only thing I asked for. And I know we're getting a campaign, so I'm not going to mention Black Ops 4, but I know we're getting a campaign. So it's not going to be anything like Black Ops 4's is. I just don't want it to be like Black Ops 3. And hopefully it's not. Hopefully we get a really solid campaign this year. From all the teasers, it's looking great. They're teasing this campaign a lot, and I'm all here for it. The final thing I have for campaign is I don't want to have multiple endings. Treyarch has this thing where literally all their games have multiple endings. I think Black Ops 3 might not, but I know Black Ops 2 and Cold War have multiple endings, and it's just not fun at all for me. Like, how are you going to continue the story where the end of the last story doesn't have a solid ending, and it could be several different options? And the option they chose for the continuation of the Cold War story is that Adler killed Bell and Bell didn't kill Adler, because you have the option at the end of the game to like kill each other or whatever. And that's the one they chose. And then like Black Ops 2, it was kind of cool because like they took a step away in Black Ops 3 from those Black Ops characters. So Black Ops 2 wasn't that big of a deal. They all had like these multiple endings, so the story doesn't have a cohesive storyline that you can go through. That's all I have to say about campaign. At the end of the day, campaign is such a small part of the game because you play it for 5 to 6 hours and then you most likely will never touch it again. So in my eyes, even if a game has a bad campaign, I don't really knock it down that much because it doesn't matter a whole lot. All right, going to MP, a lot of the things I have are basic Call of Duty things, not really necessarily a Black Ops thing. One thing I do want is for it to feel like Black Ops. I feel like every Black Ops game has its own identifiable aspect, especially with Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. You know, they just had their whole, I don't know, like their own universe, and they played very similarly, and it was fun. I like both the multiplayers in those games. Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, and even Cold War, they just felt like I guess this is really just the Treyarch style that I'm looking for, because they play completely different from all the Modern Warfare games. Like it's I don't know how to explain it. It's just a lot more fun to play than it is with the Modern Warfare games. We have to play a lot more slower, it feels like. Pretty much the list I have is lists I would make for any Call of Duty game. And even in Zombies, a lot of it is lists that I would want for any Call of Duty games. A lot of it's stuff that I want to carry over from Cold War. But going into MP, my number one thing is good maps. I feel like you can have a really fun game, but if you have bad maps, it's not going to be good. And that's how I feel with MW3. The maps aren't bad. They just don't fit the game and how the game works. So at the end of the day, MW3 isn't super enjoyable. Like if I load up rank play and I play Invasion Control one more time, I might lose my shit. I literally can't deal with that. Like the maps just aren't built for the game, so it's not that fun. But they are good maps, and a lot of the DLC maps they have in MW3 are fun, like Meat, Rio, stuff like that. I enjoy those maps, like the new maps Tokyo and Paris. Paris is okay, but Tokyo is cool. Like there's a lot of good new maps that they've added that play really well with how the game is made. But compared to like the old MW2 maps that are in the game, it's not that fun. And I know there was a leak today that Black Ops 6 is going to have a lot of maps from a bunch of different games and not just one game, because next year we're going to have like the BO2 sequel remaster thing that's going to have a lot of BO2 remasters, just like MW3 was this year. It seems like that's the new style they're going for the future, so that way devs have more time to make games and Activision can still get our money. Yeah, that's my number one thing is the maps. If they're not good, then the game's not going to be fun. Number two thing I have is non-broken movement. Like we look at MW19 and a lot of MW3, the movement is insane. I mean, especially looking at X Defiant now, I saw there's this clip that's been going around Twitter right now where like you could just jump strafe in the air over and over again, have no repercussions for doing so. It's just insane. I thought the movement in Cold War was literally perfect. That's what we need, especially if you don't have jetpacks. The zombies movement in BO3 is probably some of the best boots on the ground movement you can have. Like no slide delay. Like the slide cancel wasn't broken, but you can just infinitely slide over and over again. And I love that kind of movement. And I'm going to get into that more when I talk about zombies, but I love that kind of movement. And I just hope that this year's movement isn't going to be like the last year. And I don't want it to be the level where it's not fun at all, like MW2, but I don't want it to be the level where it's insane like MW3. My third thing for multiplayer is good camos and knowing Treyarch. Every camo in this game is going to bang, especially with how they've been doing camos this year. I am hoping for a lot of free DLC camos next year. It seemed for the last 3 years before MW3 with I guess 4 years from MW19 through Vanguard, they weren't really adding DLC camos at all. Well, I guess MW19 through MW2 actually. MW2 started adding a little bit. Towards the end of the year they started adding like the event camos, and then this year really kicked it up a notch. We have the seasonal camos, so every season you get a cool animated camo. If you do all 8 weekly challenges, you get like several events every season that all have animated camos. Some are good, some are not so good, but that's like not every camo can be good. I hope they keep that going forward because Treyarch makes amazing camos, and I know in Vanguard I'm pretty sure Treyarch made all the camos for that game, but I know Treyarch has the camo knowledge. They just know what we want. Like you look at Black Ops 4, all the reactive camos they added to that game, insane. I was going through, I was playing on my PS5 the other day, looking at all the reactive shit I have, and I just thought it was crazy. And I don't know if I want reactive stuff back, but I want like stuff they were making like that to come back, because the base of those reactive camos are crazy. Look at BO3, all the camos they have in that game, like you couldn't like straight up buy camos, but there were so many DLC camos that you could earn or unfortunately get through supply drops, and they're nice. The Dark Matter in that game is nice. The Dark Matter in Cold War is nice as well. At least Dark Ether is. I'm not a fan of Dark Matter Ultra, but they're good at Mastery camos. They're good at DLC camos. They're good at everything. Even it started back with Black Ops 2 when they had all those $2 DLC camos. So I have this in my list, but I know Treyarch is going to do good by us and put good camos into the game, so I'm not super worried about that. The next thing I have for multiplayer is ranked play on launch. This is something that I doubt will happen because ranked play needs to have a set map set and rule set and what they're going to do, so having a ranked right on launch is almost impossible. When I say on launch, I kind of want something akin to what we had with World War II. I'm pretty sure this last game we had ranked pretty much on launch, but we knew exactly what day launch or ranked play was happening from launch. As soon as you launched up World War II, it said ranked play coming December 1st. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. So we knew exactly when it was going to happen, and it was like less than a month after the game came out, so they had plenty of time to find all the maps they were going to play on and find all the modes they were going to play on, because I know they tested out the gridiron mode, which is like the boots on the ground version of Uplink, and that didn't work out so well, so they started doing capture the flag instead, which was actually fun in that game because the new game rules they added to capture the flag in World War II were fun. So I'm just hoping we have something similar to that and not get ranked in like January, mid-January to February, because that just makes it not fun, because I do like playing pubs, but at the end of the day, I love playing ranked. With this game, I'll play a lot of zombies too, so it's not really that big of a deal for me because I'll have zombies to play while I'm waiting for ranked, but it's still something that I would like to see there close to launch. And I hope Treyarch can do that because Treyarch makes ranked play in the first place. So I'm hoping they can do good by us and put ranked play in early. The final thing I have is just another Call of Duty thing, and Call of Duty Mobile does this, and I have no clue why Call of Duty like main titles don't do this, but keeping the blueprint style whenever you change the attachments on the gun is such a must-have thing. I don't buy bundles in this game for the blueprints. I don't care about blueprints because if I see a cool blueprint for the MCW, I'm not going to buy it unless it has the exact attachments I use, because the moment I change my attachment, the entire look of the blueprint is ruined. And that's why like I look at Cold War, and I bought only bundles I bought that year were like operator bundles. I didn't care about any of the blueprints in the battle pass, none of the operators in the battle pass, because they're all bad. And I literally only cared about like a few bundles. Like the only bundles I ran were like I have the Ghostface bundle and I have the Maxis, like I have like all the Maxis bundles just because I'm a zombies fan, so I bought all the bundles for her. I don't use a single blueprint in that game. The only blueprint I actually bought was the Ice Drake blueprint, which was the Dragon blueprint for the Krig, just because it had the barrel on it was the barrel that you used in, like it was like the meta barrel, so it was the barrel that increased bullet velocity and range. And so that's the only reason I bought that blueprint, because I knew I would have the whole dragon like head and shit on the gun if I bought it, because I already use those attachments. And now you're not even using the blueprint because the blueprint is so big that it covers up half my screen. So that's a different story, but it's like a feature we need to have. They started doing it with gun vaults, but the blueprints and gun vaults are so just like, I wouldn't say like bare minimum. I mean, they kind of are like that. We've only had, I think, 2 or 3 gun vault blueprints. I think there's 3. So we had the MW2 one. I don't remember what it was called. It was like the red carbon fiber one. We had that one. We had the Vault Edition one for this year. I don't know what it was called, but it was like that silver, red, and blue thing that was a little animated. And then we have one for one of the Holger variants or whatever. That's like, I think Japanese themed or something like that, but it's still bare minimum. All of them are bare minimum. There are no over the top bundles that are weapon vaults because they don't care about the weapon vault bundles like that. They don't make them, and when they do make them, they charge you an arm and a leg for it because they think it's a feature that's cool when it's not. It's a basic feature in COD Mobile, and I don't understand why it's not in the game. This is something I will keep harping on ever since they added bundles in 2019. This has been such a big issue for me, and I don't know. I just don't understand why people are spending $20 to use, like, get a bundle for a blueprint that's just going to look completely different when you change the attachments. Like, it makes zero sense to me, and I'm so frustrated with it. I'm at to the point where, like, I'm gonna stop buying bundles unless the skin is absolutely insane, because there's literally no point. This is a feature that we should have, and the fact that we don't have it after 5 years is mind-blowing to me, and I doubt it's gonna change, but I hope Treyarch can, like, do something about it, because it's so infuriating to me, and I can't deal with that shit anymore. So that's my, it's such a big thing. I didn't realize I was going to go on a rant about it, but it's such a big thing that I think if you're going to be charging people so much money for these blueprints, you need to make it so they can keep the blueprint how it's supposed to look. It's such a big thing, but they don't do it. So yeah, that's all I have for multiplayer, and I'm going to go into zombies now. My number one thing is bring back the old school design, the detailed, everything means something kind of design. You know, like all the maps in Cold War, they were good maps, don't get me wrong, except for Firebase Z. Like T Machine, Forsaken, and Malware Toten are amazing maps in my opinion. The problem is they are so lifeless. They have no atmosphere to the map. Like it's just not fun. The detail is not there. Like you look at something like Shadows of Evil and their Eisendrache, like it feels cluttered, but it's not. Everything has a purpose in that map, and it just adds to the map. They were so detailed, and it just felt like the map was so cohesive when you had all this stuff laying around where it didn't feel cluttered, but it just made the map feel so much more detailed, and that so much more effort was put into it. Even in BO4, they have all that stuff. You look at Ancient Evil, even Alpha Omega and Tog Der Toten, which were thrown together by Activision Shanghai, not even Treyarch, and those still have a bunch of details. Like Tog Der Toten for me is the last zombies map that was like a fully detailed zombies map, and it was fun to play because you just like knew, like the atmosphere just gets you all the time. All the Cold War maps feel so lifeless to me. I'm not saying they're bad maps. I'm just saying they have no character to them. Like there's nothing drawing me to go in and play them. The only map I will consistently play is Malware Der Toten because it kind of has a vibe that I enjoy. Forsaken also has a vibe that I enjoy, but Malware for me is the only map from Cold War that stands out and gives me like this eerie kind of zombies vibe, and I enjoy that. Even though all the maps from that game are literally just like cuts from other games. Like D Machine is just Nocturne Toten with a little bit underground. Firebase Z is campaign mission. Actually, the rest, they're all campaign missions, let's be honest. And even Forsaken is a campaign mission, a zombies map, and a multiplayer map. So it was a lot of reused content, but that's understandable because of the state of Cold War and its development. That's kind of understandable. So I'm not going to harp on it too much with that game. But even like, you look at MW3, I know it's just the Warzone map, but every time I load up Modern Warfare Zombies, I do enjoy Modern Warfare Zombies. I hope they don't bring it back because it's like, it's kind of a grind, but like I don't feel anything from it. You know, I'm just playing it. The map is nothing to the map, bro. No character at all. It's just some random ass map, bro. Like it just doesn't fit the zombies story at all, and I just hate it. And I hope we can go back to how it used to be, where everything just like felt so cohesive and detailed. And I hope we can get back to that. That's such a big thing for me, and I really hope we get that. The second thing I have on my list is Gobblegums, and these are already confirmed. I don't know how it's going to work with the microtransactions. I hope it's not going to be like this year where it's like MWZ where you have to go in and get them all and stuff like that, and you can only use them a very small amount of times, and then you have to go back in and grind a shit ton to get it again. I hope to God it's not like that. I hope it's like something easily earnable, so you don't have to worry. Like if I want a Perkaholic, I don't want to have to sit there and grind for 20 hours just to get one Perkaholic. And I don't want to have to sit there and go and just buy whatever Gobblegum I want, because I'm pretty sure that's what they're probably going to do, and that's going to piss me off. I want it to be earnable. Even if like I have to earn Liquid Divinium again, I'm fine with that. I will earn the Liquid Divinium and open the randomness. I don't care. Just give me a way to easily earn stuff and not like make it a challenge to get something that I really want. You know, I just think it's stupid. Unless it's a final camo, it doesn't make sense to make something that's such an attainable feature so out of reach. I think it's stupid. but I also don't think it should be insane like it was in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, where like you had to, like, you could just pay and get a shit ton of liquid Divinium or Nebulium Plasma or whatever the fuck it's called. Like, I don't want it to be like that. And I know there's gonna have some paid mechanic for it, because if you pre-order the Vault Edition, you get a shit ton of Gobblegums. I don't know what exactly it is, but I know it was in a leaked picture, and I just hope to God it's not. I don't even know what it's gonna be, and I just hope it's not a broken system on how to obtain them. But I do hope the system is as broke as it is in BO3. For me, BO3 is my favorite Call of Duty game, and BO3 Zombies is literally the best zombies I've ever played. And the Gobblegums being broken is what made it fun. Being such an overpowered character is what makes PvE game modes fun. Stop nerfing. Like BO4 and Cold War, they nerf the players so much. It's just, it doesn't make sense. I want the Gobblegums to be insanely broken just like they were before. Otherwise, you're just going to tarnish the name of the Gobblegums themselves. And I hope the story with how they work is going to be cool too, because it's Dr. Monty's Gobblegums, and Dr. Monty is not even a character anymore, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do with them. I don't even know if they're going to have the same name. We'll see. Moving on, my next thing is good mechanics. This is what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about multiplayer. We've seen the slide from like the half-second to second teaser we got from all those people who got sent the VCR TV things, and it showed us a little bit of gameplay. That was Zombies gameplay, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the leaked maps. That's the Terminus Island map. There's 2 maps leaked. It's like a transit, kind of like D-Machine, like a little bit of transit, but the rest is original. And then the other one is supposed to be a completely original map, which is the Terminus Island, which is connected to like real world, not real world, but connected to like non-zombie stuff. It's connected to like Keeble, which is kind of but whatever. But I'm pretty sure that's the map the teaser was on, and it was clearly zombies. You know, one of the characters was sliding, and one of them was sprinting, but they weren't tack sprinting. They were just sprinting normally. It looked a lot like the BO3 sprint, which got me excited. And the slide looked a lot like the BO3 slide, like the power slide with the jetpacks, not the normal slide. It looked a lot like BO3, which got me excited, because look, BO4, they got rid of the unlimited slide thing, which really sucked. But like, if they bring it back in Black Ops 6, this shit might be goated, bro. I'm saying, like, it's such a mechanic that people don't think about that actually like has so much power, because it's so fun and it makes the game so much more enjoyable. It's just the ability to have that infinite slide over and over again. Like, I don't think Treyarch realized what they were doing when they did it, but they made such a good mechanic that a lot of people take for granted. But every zombies game I try to play afterwards, I'm sitting there trying to do the infinite slide, and I'm like, this is not what I want. Like, BO3's infinite slide is so good, and I really hope they bring it back. I know there's gonna be some form of tack sprint. I know there is, and I hope it doesn't feel weird in zombies, because it feels weird in MWZ. I'm not a huge fan of the tack sprint. It doesn't like really fit the game. I don't know if that makes sense, but it doesn't fit zombies. All right, so next on my list, I have no perk limit, and this is pretty explainable. Like, you look at Cold War and MWZ, the perk limit was gone, and that's such a good feature. In WZ, the price for perks doesn't increase. Cold War does. I think it should stay like Cold Wars, because what's the point in having all perks if there's not at least somewhat of a downfall? But it was also nice because you say Mule Kick, which used to be 4,000, now you go buy it for 2,500. So it's good and bad. It's majorly good. The only bad thing is if you don't have a lot of points, which brings me to another point I didn't even think about, the point system. Why Black Ops 4 changed the point system, I will never know. Bring it back to the original one. I want to be able to earn a shit ton of points easily and not only get points for kills, because Black Ops 4 changed it a little bit, and then Cold War just like completely got rid of points for every shot. The amount of points, like, because Cold War, you need so much points for everything, because to fully upgrade your gun costs 50,000 points, not including unlocking the map, not including perks. Just your gun is 50,000 points. So fully upgrading your gun, I could do it by round 20. But I would only run like 4 perks, and that's just how I camo grinded in Cold War. Bring back the old point system too. Like, if you're gonna, I don't know, I just think that's a feature we should have. Which also brings me to another feature: have single pack-a-punch with double tap, please, please. Why are we changing it? I don't want to double, triple pap my gun. I want double tap, broken AAT like BO3, and a single pack-a-punch. This triple pack, this fucking 5-time pack from BO4, bro. Why is that? Why was that added? It's just one of those features that holds back the player. Why are we trying to hold back players in a PvE mode? It's not like the zombies are complaining that we're overpowered. In multiplayer, it makes more sense to hold players back, but in zombies, it makes zero fucking sense why we're doing that. So that's one thing I would really like. That's several things I would like, actually. Just all those combined into one. God, I don't know why I didn't even think about that until now. But yeah, no perk limit. That's probably coming back, which is nice. Keep it like Cold War, fix the points and add double tap back, and fix the PAP to original. One thing that has been leaked though, because it's in the files for NW3, the original Pack-a-Punch animation is coming back. We're getting the original Pack-a-Punch machine. No longer this little particle accelerator kind of, I don't know what it is, little fucking portal Pack-a-Punch thing. Now we're getting an actual Pack-a-Punch machine where you put your gun into it, Pack-a-Punch it, and it gives you back. You don't just go up to it, press the button, and leave. That's a zombies thing that needs to stay. That's such like an iconic thing that you don't think about, but it actually adds to the atmosphere of a map. It's all these little things that they're changing that add up to one big problem. And I think that's why the love for zombies has gone away over the last 5 years. My next thing is I want zombie shields to come back. BO4 went crazy with the shields. I think, well, after Ancient Evil, they just had the standard shields. So all the ether maps besides Blood of the Dead had the same weird gun shield that was pretty much just the same shield from the Ajax specialist in multiplayer. They all just had that shield, which was a good shield. It did good damage and stuff, which was cool. But 9 had a special shield. Blood had the soul shield, which was cool as hell. There's only 3 special shields in that game, but they were all dope as hell, especially the Ancient Evil shield that went crazy. But even just like at BO3, you had the rocket shield and you had the dragon shield. Both were cool. Dragon shield infinitely cooler, but still, just having shields is so much nicer than having armor. I don't give a fuck about armor, bro. Just give me a shield. Because how many times am I gonna get hit in the front where I need armor? I don't care. Like, armor covers you from all areas, which is cool, I guess, but I care more about the shield. If I'm getting hit in the front, I'm turning around so they can hit my shield, bro. I don't like the armor system. I don't like that you have to go and collect armor after your armor breaks. I think it's stupid. I want shields back, so that way if my shield breaks, I just run and pick up another one. And don't make me pay for every shield I get. Make it free just like it was in all the other games before BO4 and make the shield free. Next thing I have is fun Easter eggs. Cold War did a good job with this. All the Easter eggs were pretty simple and fun. I wouldn't say super fun. Like, the only one that I really enjoyed doing, I like Malware's Easter egg. That's fun. And I also like Malware's is actually pretty unique. Like, with having to slam the elements together on the zip lines. I thought that was a cool thing. And then D-Machine was like a good mix of hard but easy and fun at the same time. Had good storyline to it, which I also enjoyed. And also include the Dark Ether, which is the only map in Cold War that actually included the Dark Ether for some reason, and I literally have no fucking clue why. Forsaken's Easter egg was too easy, and Firebase Z, like, literally most of the mission, or most of the Easter egg is just the Ray K, I believe. So, like, you know, it's not that hard, and it's very easy. The boss fight is insanely easy in Firebase Z, so if Firebase Z wasn't in Cold War would be a pretty good zombies game, but Firebase Z exists, so unfortunately. But yeah, I think having fun, simple Easter eggs, like a lot of Black Ops 3, they're not like super simple, and some of them are hard, like Broad Crovies is hard if you're playing with a team, especially with the bomb step. Some of it can be hard solo. The boss fight is fun though and rewarding. Zetsubo is very easy if you know what you're doing. Every time I play Zetsubo, my friends have me do the Easter egg because they don't care for it, and I know it by heart for some reason. The Ryzen Drock is extremely easy as long as you know how to build the bows. Shadows of Evil is also very easy. It's like not hard at all. You don't need to know anything for Shadows. It seems way more complicated than it is. Rev is probably the most complicated one, but after it was figured out, it wasn't that complicated. But I just want a good mix of Cold War and BO3's Easter egg, not BO4. BO4 was insanely complicated for no reason. Like, what is that Blood of the Dead Easter egg, bro? Why? What is that, dude? I've never completed it. The only Easter egg I've ever done on BO4 is Alpha Omega because it's the easiest one on the game. Yeah, that's a big thing for me because I enjoy doing Easter eggs. I did all of them in Cold War, even the Outbreak Easter egg. Yeah, I just want fun Easter eggs. I think Easter eggs are a vital point of zombies nowadays, as well as high rounds, which I'll get into in a little bit. Easter eggs need to be good and not simple, but like easy enough where like a lot of people can do it, even if you're not super skilled at zombies, but it's like easily accessible. And then the only challenge should be like the boss fight, where like you have to like properly prepare yourself if you're not a good player, you know, stuff like that. That's what I want out of the Easter egg. Next thing I have is good story, and I do enjoy the new Dark Ether story. It's a shame that they end the original Ether story. The Chaos story was terrible, so I'm not going to bring that up. But the new Dark Ether started in Cold War, continued into Vanguard, and we don't talk about Vanguard zombies, bro. Yeah, the story in Vanguard continued from Cold War. But the problem is, we've had no game that continues a story directly from Cold War. So now we've had Cold War, then we jump 40 years in the past to World War II, and then we jumped 40 years into the future from Cold War to MWZ, and now it's just spoiling a lot of Cold War. Like, we know all the main characters that we had in Cold War are all dead in NWZ, and we know where they die and how they die, pretty much. And it's annoying. We know Maxis is still alive and she hasn't come out of the ether in a long time. We know Gray and Ravenov have had a child, not by their own will, but by fucking Requiem, using their DNA to make a child who is now one of the main characters in NWZ. It's all so complicated, and I hate that the story is jumping around so much. That's what I just despise, honestly. And like, especially because Cold War's story ended off on a cliffhanger, and we've had 2 more years of that story, and we have gotten no closer to that cliffhanger with fucking Richtofen at the end of Cold War. So I'm hoping the first campaign mission, or the first zombies Easter egg that is completed, I'm assuming Terminus Island is going to be the main map, like the main Easter egg map, and then the Green Run, like one set in West Virginia, is going to be just like a little side map that you can play to have fun. Or if they both have Easter eggs, that's cool too. I don't really care, but I just really hope that the first thing we get is something about Richtofen, because they cannot just leave us on a cliffhanger like that for 3 fucking years, dude. It's so annoying. The last thing I have for zombies is no super sprinters. This is a feature I despise that they added in Black Ops 4, and it got even worse in Cold War, and it's still in MWZ if you go into tier 3. The zombies being able to run faster than you is so annoying, because like high rounds used to be fun. Like the zombies' health would increase, but they wouldn't run faster. Like you get to like round 20, and past that point, all the zombies just are like full sprinting, but they're not super sprinting. They're not like superhuman, even though they are zombies, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But for the zombies to not only increase in speed, but they also increase in damage and health. So they once you get to like round 90 or something plus in Cold War, the zombies can like 2-hit down you even with Jug, because they just do a shit ton more damage. It makes no sense to me. And then they can just like run super fast. So like camping strategies are impossible in Cold War, pretty much. Like unless you have like the Ray K strat on Firebase Z, then it's not too bad. Like camping strategies aren't really a thing in Cold War. I guess never mind, they are. I mean, literally all the maps have camping strategies now that I think about it, so maybe I'm wrong, but it's still super annoying that they added that feature. Like a lot of the features are to nerf the players and make it harder for them for no reason at all. I'm a high rounds player. I've gotten high rounds on like Cold War. I have the only round 100 I have is Forsaken, and that was at launch because the Crystal Axe was broken. BO4 I have Alpha Omega 9, Dead of the Night, and I have Tog. And then BO3, I have like a shit ton of maps, all the Chronicle maps, not all of them, but I have a couple Chronicle maps. I have Guys of Evil, I have Revelations, REPROCITY. Yeah, I have a shit ton in Cold War, and it's fun. It's not super easy, it's not super hard, it's fun. And it's not, high rounds isn't really fun in the newer games because it's just a more and more of a challenge. And I understand it's supposed to be a challenge, but like not to the point where like I'd be locked in. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my list. I've been recording for an hour, just talking straight. Like my throat is destroyed right now. If you guys have anything else you want to see in the game, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. The reveal is coming out. I'm going to upload this on Friday, so we have less than 2 full days until the reveal is out. I'm going to upload my reaction to the Black Ops 6 Direct. It's going to be later in the day, though, because I have a lot of shit going on this weekend. I will not be home whenever it's live streamed. So I'm going to try my best to avoid everything, you know, my group chat with my friends. I'm going to try my best to avoid it all and then come home, watch it, because I know it's going to be over an hour long, probably. So I'm going to make a reaction video to that and have it out by Sunday night, Monday evening, something like that. That's what I'm aiming for. And yeah, I'm excited for this game, and like I know a lot of stuff I listed is pretty rudimentary stuff, and I just know this game is gonna be good. I have that feeling, you know. I love Treyarch. They've never let me down. Like Cold War and BO4 are my least favorite Treyarch games, but I still think they're better than half the shit we've been getting from Infinity Ward. I have high expectations for Treyarch, and I hope they can surpass my expectations. But we will find out on Sunday. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if I should do more stuff like this, if you guys would like to see that, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.